Learning new skills for multicam video. Behind the lens on a multicam concert video. You have a good eye and you know a bit about photography and video. Now you're part of a multicam video project. Video and photography are strongly related, but with multicam video there are a few things different. Here we'll go through some helpful hints. The easiest way to improve your photography and video skills is to use a tripod. If you want to go freestyle, think about using a monopod. Handheld is notorious for shakes and wobbles, and framing is a problem. Even using anti-shake, there are things that can go wrong. Shaky shots will often be left out of the multicam edit, no matter how good the subject and framing. Most performances have a rehearsal. The talent rehearse their parts and the people on lights, sound and cameras use this time to look for things that will make the performance stand out. Sound will be recorded separately from your video camera sound. We will use the onboard camera sound to help synchronise everything together. At the rehearsal, we'll check some settings to give all camera angles the same look. We'll colour balance for the predominant light source. We only use auto white balance on static, uncoloured scenes. Don't use it for coloured lights or fireworks. Use tungsten for most indoor or evening events, even if there is a mixture of light sources and colour effects. Take a minute of colour chart, reference chart or clapperboard under an uncoloured light. Use auto exposure wherever possible. Presets can be helpful. Only use manual exposure compensation when you can justify it and you know how it works. Otherwise, use the camera's built-in zebra stripes or histogram. Don't trust the viewfinder for your exposure. Very few people use the old 4:3 frame size. Today, it's mostly widescreen 16:9. Use the camera's native format. High definition or standard definition, PAL. With multi-camera video shoots, you need to frame your shot as quickly as possible, as is reasonably possible, and then stay on it. In still photography, you can take quite a bit of time framing your photo, then release the shutter and maybe reframe a little bit and take another shot, etc. When you're doing a single camera narrative, for example on holidays, you do most of your editing by selectively choosing what things to video. You might also do lots of pans across a scene, zooming into points of interest or tilting up and down to see all of a feature. It's a little different with a multi-camera shoot. Once you have a shot, stay on the shot. Don't make slight adjustments of framing except for a planned pan or zoom. The editor won't take your shot until it's stable. So frame, zoom, reframe and hold. It's up to you how long you hold a shot, but generally, as long as you have an interesting shot, stay on it. If the talent keeps moving out of your frame, zoom out a little wider, or if you feel really confident, follow them as they move. Try to keep the talent's whole head in frame. If you're concentrating on an instrument and hands, mouth, arms, etc., see if you can frame them together. Don't crawl over the talent unless you have a great pan and tilt head and you can use the zoom control with a lot of finesse. Unless your pan and tilt head is really good quality and you know it intimately, consider it as your enemy. It's going to fight against every move, and it will jerk and bounce and will randomly spring back or droop if you leave it unattended. If you are using autofocus, this might take a second or two to lock in, particularly in a dark venue, and usually from there it'll be okay. But keep an eye on your focus in case it begins to hunt in and out, in and out. The more advanced user might prefer manual focus. Using manual focus and focus assist, depending upon your camera, you might get a distance reading on your viewfinder. Remember the distance and use it again. It is very hard to get crystal sharp manual focus with just a small viewfinder. In professional shoots, they have one person whose job is a focus puller. This person measures all the distances from the front of the lens to the focus point for each shot, or change of focus, and adjusts focus as the scene changes. While you're on hold, keep an eye on what is happening on stage. If you can see something coming up close to your view, think about getting onto it before the action starts there. The chances are that another camera at the other side of the stage has missed it, and you will be right on shot for the start of this new action. It's up to your artistic judgment which shot you prefer to use. Keep the camera recording rolling. Cameras take several seconds to stop tape, and then a couple more to restart when you're ready to go again. You could miss a vital segment. Sometimes they go bing, and this might be picked up on the soundtrack. If you're at the front of house, it is most likely that your camera viewfinder will be visible to other cameras. It's very distracting to see a light go on and off rather than a constant light. Make sure you have enough battery and tape to capture the entire session. If it's your own camera, think about getting a second battery, or maybe someone you know has a spare battery pack. Every time you stop tape and restart, this has to be re-synchronized in the editing phase and takes much longer than cutting out the shaky bits. Usually, you've also missed the start of a great sequence. I'm Bush Trailer.